Welcome to Grapes and Debates, a podcast where we'll uncork some incredible wine and debate varietals of issues within the restaurant industry, one glass at a time. And now, your hosts and owners of SoNapa Grille, Adam Barringer, Chris Botting, and Joe Bates.
Adam and Joe here with Tony Terello. Was that right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's sometimes Terello. I try to pronounce it correctly.
As long as there's a vowel at the end.
Okay, good.
This way you know I'm Italian. Yeah.
Who do we have from Grgich Hills? Is this Mike Grgich's lineage?
No,
No?
not that lucky.
Okay.
Just your old Renée Roscoe.
Renée Roscoe.
Roscoe.
Welcome, Renée. All the way from Charleston.
Charleston, South Carolina.
And you are the Southeast Regional Sales Manager for Grgich Hills.
Indeed.
I'm excited to try these wines. I haven't tried them in a while, and yeah, it's just got a great lineage, a great name.
Well, let's jump in on some
Let's
Sauvignon
jump
Blanc.
in.
It's some board for you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think.
this is the Sauv Blanc?
Yeah, we're going to start with Sauv. We also
Okay.
co-label Fumé Blanc.
Okay.
Co-label there. Originally, this wine was full Fumé Blanc, but in 2018, we added Sauvignon Blanc onto the label to be a little more consumer friendly.
Sure.
This Fumé Blanc is a nod to the time Mike spent working for Robert Mondavi.
Okay,
And they were
okay.
lifelong friends. So Mike's really history becomes part of Napa Valley history all the way back to the beginning. I mean, he worked for Lee Elliott at Souverain Cellars his first year in Napa in 1958.
And he worked with Andrei Chelichev.
He worked with Andrei Chelichev
and
for
he
8
left
years.
there and went to Château Montelena.
Nope, that's
Oh.
when he went to Mondavi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Mondavi
yeah.
was before.
Yeah, Mondavi.
Oh,
was
because
before.
after Montelena is when Grgich started.
It was his work with Mondavi. He made that cab, 1968 cab, that did a lot, put Mondavi on the map. He
Okay,
made the
okay.
first Fumé for Mondavi, which is why we have the Fumé there. He always wanted ownership. But, I mean, Croatian immigrant,
Right.
literally came to the United States with nothing.
Yeah.
There's a story, he has a great book called A Glassful of Miracles. There's a story when his brother-in-law comes to visit him in Napa Valley, and he's like, Mike, where's your trash can? You know, and Mike's like, what do I need that for? I use everything. I don't need that. He's like, let's get you a little Americanized, man. So, I mean, really the kind of guy who worked up from nothing
Yeah.
and made such a huge name for himself wherever he went. So yeah, he spent several years at Mondavi, and then the Barretts offered him a 1% ownership and full control of the winemaking. So originally he was hired to make
That didn't work out.
I mean,
Well, no, I think it worked out very well.
for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of Napa Valley, because
Correct.
he's the one that produced the incredible wine that won the
The 70
Chardonnay
73
in
Chardonnay.
1976.
Won it in 76. Yeah.
And 50 years. 50,
Yeah.
May 24th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So he was really hired at Montelena to make Cabernet because he was
Wow.
renowned for Cabernet from his time with Andre.
It's lively.
When he gave them the business plan, they didn't realize it would take 7 years to start turning a profit. And they said, what are we going to do in the meantime, bud? So he said, well, I know some great Chardonnay growers. We could get some Chardonnay rolling, and that'll only take a couple years. So it was really his second vintage of Chardonnay from Montelena that won, and that was, quite frankly, a happy accident and a byproduct.
Right.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I just watched Bottle Shock for the first time
I mean,
last week.
You did.
So I knew the story, but I had never seen the movie.
it's a great story.
It is a great story.
It's a good story. A
It's a
bit
cool
fanciful
story.
in the Mike Grgich realm,
Understood, yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, there was some poetic license
There
there.
was.
Yeah.
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 But it's a good romance.
Yeah.
It
The
was-
wine doesn't turn brown.
No.
No. But we do make wine in a reductive style.
Okay.
So that's like you limit
Well,
the
I will
octane.
tell you this. I recently had wine that was cloudy. It was
Was
cloudy.
it unfiltered?
It was unfiltered and it was young. And what the winemaker, he sent me samples and said, this will clear up.
Yeah.
And well, not before we finished it.
Yeah. I'm going to need another case, one for the next several years, just
Right.
for my edification.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought this was really nice.
Thank
I
you.
enjoy.
Tony said lively, and on the nose, it sure
Yeah,
is, right?
It just kind of jumps right out of the glass. I mean, between the tropical fruit, there's classic citrus notes of grapefruit, of course, but
Agreed.
I
It is bright.
Right.
In a, in a, in
23
a
was,
good way.
so 23 was a very
I'm
cool vintage.
salivating right now.
And you get this incredible amount of acidity
Yeah.
on the 23.
Yeah.
We just moved into them. I was wondering if we would have 22 still in the market, so I was happy to have the 23 here because I think that the freshness here is incredibly pleasing with wide array of food, and there's herbaceous layers here that really can come out pending what you
herbaceous.
pair it with. I had a
love that.
wine dinner. They did it with a lavender cream, and that like little bit of semi-sweet but floral brought out this like tarragon note that I
Really? Okay.
thought was really, really interesting. So incredibly versatile, and 23 is a very important year for us as a winery in terms of where we're going, because it's the year we became fully regeneratively organically certified.
Okay.
So it's a step beyond biodynamics.
Really?
The fullest, it's the
Certification you can have.
fullest, yeah, holistic.
And to do that in California is
entity.
even more incredible.
I think
with
it's-
all the regulations out there.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really, there's a parts of the program where you have to value. It's an employee welfare tenants, it's conservation tenants, it's carbon sequestration. So it's all the stuff.
Fish-friendly farming.
Fish-friendly farming. It's all the things, but really, what it starts with is health of the vine, and being able to be resistant to irregular weather patterns and inconsistencies that really can impact a vintage. So
And you know what? We have not been to Grgich.
We need
All
to
the
be.
years that we go out there, we have not been.
We need to be.
well, I'll give you a carrot. We have a very deep library program. It's been one of the things that was important for Mike to develop ever since we were fully estate, starting in 2007, but back to 2003, we reserve a large portion of each vintage for the library program. A huge facet of the way we want to produce these wines is about ageability, even on the whites. So the acid forward, it's the reductive, that lessening the exposure to oxygen during the winemaking process. So for Chardonnay, surly, aging in barrel, no batonnage. So
No batonnage.
you keep,
You're not batting
you're
it.
not putting oxygen into the wine.
Right,
The belief is
surly.
that you give the wine freshness when you bottle, and time will do what oxygen would do.
Right.
So it's a slower aging.
I think it's also, that kind of fits in there with the process of autolysis.
It does.
It
Yeah.
does. This is, yes.
That's our new word.
Yes.
We learned it.
Autolysis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well,
no
right
Merlot,
here.
but
We
autolysis
learned about
can
autolysis.
produce some of those same
Sitting right here.
flavors.
What is that? I
It's,
learned me a lesson.
Adam, do tell.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, it has to do with the yeast cells, and as they begin to, I guess, while the aging process, it creates a creaminess that you would normally get from malolactic fermentation, but it also gives you the mouthfeel that you would get from aging in an oak barrel. Autolysis is the chemical reaction of the yeast cells.
Interesting.
And if this isn't true, I will edit this whole thing in.
Well, I'm going to be Googling it when we walk out the front door. Yeah, we don't have mallow on the Chard. So we do not allow
But it's
for
creamy.
mallow.
Right, and I haven't gotten any
So
yet.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm really, like, that was very intriguing, that autolysis.
Yeah.
Talk to us on.
Next week, I'm going to, like, throw that out.
And they're gonna say, just I'm just like a bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
This, Renée just started with us.
I'm going to be like, what's this?
So why is that a Burgundian bottle for the Sauv Blanc?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it because it's Fumé? Labeled Fumé?
Yeah. And I think it's easy
Yeah, yeah.
to get the glass. It's streamlined. So I think there's a little bit more of an elegance there. There's certainly an old world nod across
Sure.
all of our wines.
And is that 100% Sauv Blanc?
100% Sauv Blanc, and we use a clone called Sauvignon Muscat.
Okay.
So this is a more aromatic clonal material
Yeah,
for
yeah, it
Sauvignon
jumps out
Blanc,
of the
so you
glass.
really get some of that floral. Additionally, with our ferment, we're 100% native yeast wild ferment.
Really?
Yes.
Let me just go back to autolysis.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
love this.
I like science.
Yeah, yeah. In the winemaking process refers to the process by which yeast cells break down after fermentation, releasing their contents into wine. Okay? Mechanism: after primary fermentation, yeast cells die off and begin to decompose. The process involves the release of proteins, amino acids, and other compounds. Impact on flavor and aroma. Autolysis contributes to the development of complex flavors and aromas in the wine, often described as toasty, nutty, or brioche-like. All of that which we get here And I believe that when you do the batonnage, you're really kind of beating down.
You're stirring up those leaves.
You're really enhancing
Yeah,
production.
yeah, maybe.
If you will.
Yeah, maybe, if you will. But this is
You know,
beautiful.
this remains lean. I mean, you can tell that it hasn't gone through the mallow. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got some mouthfeel, but
It has
it
nice
is
smell.
it is lean.
It is lean.
It's not that big butter bomb that you
purpose.
see.
No,
right.
no. But I think there's a nice juxtaposition with the oak treatment, which is
I
we're all
agree.
French, but we do use 40% new. So you're getting some richness from the oak, but you're not layering on that extra
Now, how
creamy
long is
note.
that aged?
This is 23, and we just released this
Okay.
vintage. So I think we started shipping right before Christmas. I mean, in barrel 10 months. Pardon me. In barrel 10 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, 40% new. And, I think the process of ferment is really interesting with the native yeast, where you aren't inoculating, you just have the big vats. You just, hope and pray. But
Whatever's on the skins, right?
right, but when you're looking at our vineyards, they're so healthy, they're so alive. We're really farming as much for biodiversity as we're farming for vines. And that's kind of the regenerative mentality, is bringing ecosystems of nature back into the vineyard to create healthy systems.
Is there
So
a third party that comes in and
yes,
certifies
it's a
it?
week every year, I
Yeah.
believe. It's a pretty intensive
Yeah.
process. We started farming, working towards the certification in 2018. So it's a pretty
Yeah,
long
almost a
process.
decade.
Yeah, it's a pretty long process. And when you have that ferment, you can tell when mallow yeast is present, and it sort of starts to, I can't tell, but our winemaking team
Right.
can tell.
Right.
And they say, it's pretty simple. You just take in different vats. There's sometimes it won't take over, and you take a bucket of unceremoniously and put it into the mallow, and that yeast will override. And with our yeast program, every year you'll have over 120 different strains of yeast. And every year they say it's really interesting that by the end of ferment, one or two will have become dominant, and it's different strains every year. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the native yeast, is that gives you such a nice sort of time capsule of what is the vintage. All of these things are really nuanced,
Yeah.
and lead to very vintage specific, very delicate.
It sounds like somebody's doing what they know how to do there.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
knows what they're doing
They
there.
do.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
they do.
Yeah.
It's not like they've been doing it for, it's
Yeah.
only a couple years.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that Chardonnay is drinking.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's a sexy Chardonnay. Both of these
It's racing.
are right up there. If I had to say
Okay.
on a scale,
Careful.
on our scale, TS, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
TS.
We're reinventing that
shit.
scale, aren't we? Yeah. So
Shit.
that is the shit.
Yeah.
The top tier is TFS.
Yeah.
Oh.
The fucking shit. And I believe that one of those reds will fit in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Let's, without further ado, let's get
I'll
into
send you a
it.
scale.
Valley here. So 5
Okay.
estate vineyards. We've just enjoyed American Canyon and Carneros
Okay.
is where we're getting this from. Everything is estate.
Everything's
Everything is estate. Yeah. The last vineyard was purchased in the late 90s. It was American Canyon.
Let's go to the red glass.
So we're a really cool climate on the whites. Now we go all the way north to Calistoga.
Oh, all the way north.
All the way north up in Calistoga.
Let's, before we do that, American Canyon, that is one of the newest. Is it an
It's
ABA
new.
now?
It's a very new ABA. Yeah.
that's
and it's under
really-
Napa Valley.
Okay. Okay.
It is.
Yes,
we
you
are
know what? I did
2
read that.
miles from the bay there.
Yes.
So you have extreme winds, you have extreme fog, significantly cooler microclimate.
And that's further south,
South.
than Carneros.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's southeast of
East.
Carneros. Yes.
Exactly. And you get a lot of vigor reduction because of the intensity of the wind there. So the aspect and the planting ratio of the vines is also really important because the way the wind flows through the vineyards. It's also hilly. So you kind of get, in our vineyards, you get, your hilly in American Canyon. And then as you go up valley, we've got Yountville, pretty flat, Rutherford, pretty flat. And then you get to Calistoga and it's on a hill. And that's what we're tasting here in
Right
Zinfandel.
now, I mean, on the nose, and this is, sometimes you can't pick up something on the nose. I don't know if it's just that I'm so hypersensitive right now. I'm picking up vanilla and caramel. That almost hit me. I don't know.
I always get like rhubarb because I smell that red fruit
Really?
and then a layer of more of that like earth. But these
Yeah.
vines were planted about 35 years ago. So we don't call it Old Vine Zinfandel. When Mike bought this vineyard, he purchased it
what you're
to
saying.
secure a 1989 sorry, 1989. No, 1889 acreage of old vine Zin.
Wow.
So we do have a
Oh,
true,
okay.
yeah, we make a wine called Miljenko's Old Vine. Miljenko was Mike's Croatian name. And that is from that lot of wines. The rest of the vineyards were planted, and he loves Zinfandel. Are you guys familiar with the work that Mike did, tracing the origins of Zinfandel back to Croatia?
Well, was it Croatia? Because it was a little maybe stop in Italy with the Primitivo, and then maybe before that, Hungarian, and then Croatia?
They believe, one does.
We know
One
who they
believes.
are, too.
One believes.
They are important.
They are out there.
One
We know who
believes.
you are.
They do. The history of Croatia, actually, no, there's a grape that is the same genetic mix to what they call it now in Croatia. Do you know? Does anybody?
Hit us up.
Siljanek Kastelanski.
Language.
You know what? This is something with analysis.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have to put this down at the bottom of the
You all
notes.
get that pronunciation.
Okay.
So Siljanek was produced in Croatia. There is more ancient texts that have it being documented as produced all the way back to the 1300s, the Middle Ages, under the grape varietal Tribedrag, where it was widely traded between the Croatians across the Adriatic to the Venetians.
Okay, Renée.
They like to party on that big red stuff,
You really tucked a lot of little stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice little nugget.
and there's one leaf of Tribedrag they found in this old museum in Split, the same as Siljanek. They found 8 vines of Siljanek, which is the same as Zinfandel, the same as Primitivo. Once they had that framework in place, then they went into text.
We're going to have to call the White House.
Yeah.
It's a god right here.
Yeah. We're going to have to call the White House.
Yeah.
The next time they decide to do a nod to Italy, it shouldn't be with Red Zin.
It's our, yeah. Or actually, they're nodding to Croatia.
Croatia.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Let's not go down that path.
So a very interesting story there. But when Mike first came and he worked for Souverain, the first vineyard he saw was Zinfandel.
Okay.
And he said, I'm home. This is a sign.
Yeah.
I found it. I've made it to paradise. His vision of paradise was really set fast in his mind by a professor in Zagreb in the early 50s who came and worked at Berkeley and had been to Napa Valley and came back to teach genealogy and said, Napa Valley is paradise. And that set in Mike a visceral goal to get to Napa Valley. Took him years. So he saw that Zin and thought it was a great Plavix Molly, which is widely cultivated today. He was in the Plavix Molly camp all through the 70s, 80s, and when the 90s we had genetic testing, he partnered with a woman, Dr. Carol Meredith from Davis. They went over, tested Plavix, not Plavix, but Plavix actually was an ancestor of a grape they believe would be the grape of Zin.
Wow.
So they knew they were on the right track, and they kept looking, and it took them, I think, 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool
Yeah.
story. That's an awesome story.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a long tale. So
Yeah.
we make Zinfandel at Grgich.
Zin is really nice.
It's delicate.
Is there a
is-
varietal that's never come off, or that Grgich has always made? It is Zin
No, I
One-
think Cabernet.
Cab has
Cabernet
always been
and
on
Chardonnay.
the lineup, and Chard.
The first vineyards were in Rutherford, 18 acres in 77, and that's Cabernet.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I believe Chardonnay as well, given the Judgment of Paris,
Sure.
right? So Mike was kind of the king of Chardonnay dubbed.
Now, Grgich Hills is on the west side of Highway 29, kind of in the middle of the valley. Is it?
It's in Rutherford.
It's in Rutherford.
It's in Rutherford, yeah.
Now, do you own that
Yeah,
property?
yeah. That was the first 18 acres in
18
Rutherford.
acres there?
Yeah. 18 acres.
You moving forward?
Are you going to Merlot? Can I
Let's
say
go to
this
Merlot.
in? I want to talk about this in a little bit because there's so much acid here.
Don't throw it out. Hey, what are you- Oh my God. Oh no! If you want to, that's fine.
Keep talking.
I think it's
Getting us prepared.
juxtaposition because we don't call it old vine, and there's no regulation to that term.
Right.
So it's sort of a gentleman's handshake agreement, but we're in the 30s here.
What's the handshake
50.
agreement? 50.
50.
Yeah.
There's real visceral changes that happen to the characteristic of the grapes and the way that the vine outputs and varies.
I thought it was 100.
I mean, you can
And
get
50
that.
years
Then we
old.
can get into other fanciful terms, heritage.
No, they
vine,
make one that is a
Oh,
true old
we
vine.
have the
This is not.
Miljenkos,
This is
but
not. It.
we're 35 acres of Zin that were planted about 30 years ago, late 90s. So,
A young buck.
yeah, but it's mature. It's mature. You get a beautiful fruit
No
flavor, but you're not getting
30.
these these really thick skins.
Yeah.
So we're neutral oak treatment here. We don't overdo it. We really listen to where the grape is, and I think the vinification process meets the grape in the middle, and that's what makes this wine beautiful. Is you're not trying to superimpose overly rich or overly unctuous flavors onto this wine. And the vineyards itself, it's a beautiful eastern-facing slope, which is important because eastern-facing means it gets a morning sun, and then it just steeps in the atmosphere of Calistoga. So it's getting that warmth that Zinfandel needs to ripen,
So
but
where
it's not
specifically
baking.
in Calistoga? If I was cruising up,
Oh my gosh, you got to go off on a side road,
Oh,
okay? And then
okay.
you get on a smaller side road, and then you're like turning down a driveway, and then there's a hill and a gate, and it's like,
I've been there.
yeah,
I know exactly
yeah.
where that
I mean, you're
is.
lost in the hills.
Side road.
So you better have a geopin because it's up there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's very, very wild.
Take a right at
And
the
is it,
dead skunk. And
Yeah.
Is it
up by the-
for it? I mean, there's not too much.
There's an elevation.
Okay.
I don't have that memorized. I'm not sure, but it's up in those. It's on the Mayakama side, so it's it's hilly. It's up, and I think that's really important because Zinfandel the way that Zinfandel gets these high alcohol levels is when you let that grape sit and bake in the heat and it dehydrates. We really try to minimize that dehydration. So harvest levels for sugars, we're always looking 24.5 or lower, because after that, it's more about the dehydration that's occurring to the grape than the actual production of sugar. And so you're just concentrating the flavors, and then that doesn't lead for us to the balance that we're looking for in the wine with the acid.
And neutral oak, just winemaker's choice.
Neutral oak for
Or
this
Grgich
wine. We
style.
don't know. We use new on everything else with the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Pretty judicious use of new, honestly, on the
Yeah.
Cabernet, and I think Chardonnay 40%. But no,
let the,
neutral.
let the
on this
Zen
end,
speak
'cause
for
it's-
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if when 50 years from now or 100 years of Grgich Hills, maybe we'll use some new oak to meet the wine where it's at. But listening to the grape is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the ego of the winemaker. It's about what the vineyard is giving you. I think that's a really
Oh, I love
important
Yeah.
that.
philosophy
Yeah.
for us in
I
the
love that.
winemaking space.
Because sometimes I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
You
I
know.
would agree.
So
And I
So we
think,
have the Merlot now.
yeah, okay, so
Joe, you just barreled the
Joe was all over that
I'm
Merlot.
just hauling ass by the Zen. Just let's go. Let's go. I see him in the distance, right?
I mean, jump in because
Yeah.
I tend to oversell this wine. We don't make a lot. I think there's a beautiful feminine elegance on the nose with the aromatics. We grow Zin. People think we're nuts, but we grow it down in American Canyon. We've got 11 acres down there. That is very cool for Merlot. But what it means is we develop beautiful structure and we develop beautiful aromatics. Our Merlot's not getting too warm. So
What do you think those
Right.
aromatics are? Because that is elegant.
I get white flower.
Okay.
Like I get this white flower and then a deeper cranberry note.
Tony?
For me, it's red currants.
Okay.
Yeah, almost like not the black kind, but red that you would find in cassis, where there's a little bit of a lifted aromatic.
Like not super bright
And
raspberry strawberry, but like a mid.
Not a linionberry.
but you're getting a little bit of
I mean, listen, I don't know all the berries.
Courant, kind of a combination.
I just think there's always a perfume on this
What this
wine that is
turns
very
out.
alluring.
On the back end too.
Yeah.
The drink's very
Best.
like.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I don't know.
it's
I don't think it's cab.
It's Merlot-esque.
Yes.
It's right.
This
Thank
is a nice.
tell me what I'm feeling.
no. It's
You can. I'm sorry, Joe. You need a hug.
Yeah, I think it drinks bigger than some. I don't drink a lot of Merlot, but it drinks bigger than some of the Merlots that I've had.
It drinks very true to what the varietal is.
That's what I would
And,
say.
and I would say across the board, I think that's the style
Correct.
of every wine that we're having so far.
yeah.
And that should be the goal,
Yes.
right?
That is the goal.
Everybody.
As stated, when the winery was established, the goal, the vision was a chateau in the United States, meaning chateaus make wines that express vintage and vineyard, and it's a terroir expression, not a winemaker's expression. And you listen to the grape and you listen to the land and you make that wine.
Old world.
Old world
Style
mentality. It's
mentality.
it's restrained.
Mentality.
It's asset.
These are definitely
it's
world style.
ageability. But these
These
are
are-
grown in Napa, so of
No,
course
yes,
they're
right, it's-
it's reflecting
they're
about the
all-
place.
TS. These are all so far the shit.
These are all the shit.
Yes, they are.
Do we need to run through the?
So yeah, so
Hopefully the tab
it's-
gets us to the
so-
TF.
Yes.
One S. Come on, guys. So then we put a judicious amount, I would say 14% of Cabernet from the Rutherford vineyard. So that brings in the fruit.
So that's where you get
Warm.
In this, okay,
The warm
in this Merlot.
That's warm red fruit, Rutherford fruit. And then there's a smatter of, 5% Petit Verdot and 2% Merlot, Cab Franc. But again, those are, I would say fluid by vintage, but around, around those percentages. And then it's aged as per Cabernet and,
this.
a good amount of new oak at 40% for 24 months. So you're seeing this wine treated not as we got to make a second to Cab. This is its own wine. It's very purposefully made. And I think what you get when you drink Merlot is really boutique craftsmanship, because we're making 3,700 cases of this. That's just where the market is for it. So,
well, I'm glad you can sell 3,700 cases.
Variety of food. We don't sell a ton of it. I don't know that anybody sells a ton of it, but
nobody does.
It fits so many foods and can go across so many food spectrums. It's just not on everybody's radar.
I think it's a shame.
Yeah.
And Merlot grown in too hot of a climate
drink
can
more
get
Merlot.
too hot. Yeah, drink more Merlot. There's so many good ones out there, and there's such a great value. And when you're in the restaurant space, I'm hitting the Merlot section. I'm looking at what's the Syrah, what's the red blend from the south of France. Those are the places I think you really find a lot of value.
Yeah.
Can I say that? I'm telling that.
Yeah, no, you can find value.
No, I'm not
in
going to look
Merlot.
for value anywhere other than Sonoma and Napa.
Yes, understand.
And so
It's a
Napa.
passion project. People who are making Merlot, particularly at this level, are doing it because they love it, and they're doing it because they have a vineyard that they think produces exceptional fruit.
Now, this is drinking fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
It can definitely be that bridge the way some producers, obviously a cool climate, region, microclimate's going to make Pinot Noir for red wine. I think this it's not Pinot Noir, but it has prettiness like Pinot Noir.
There's a feminine
Yet
side
it
to
has
it.
structure to transition to a Cabernet, which is what I'm going to pour now.
Wow, nice segue. You were born for this.
Just picking up on what you're putting down here, guys.
Thank you, my friend.
Mike had his eye on these 90 acres in Yountville since the late 50s. And that is the heart of our Cabernet production, is our Yountville vineyard. And we're not just in Yountville.
Tell us where you are.
We're right on the west side of the town of Yountville. The vineyard space actually gets cross-sectioned by 29. Mike saw
really?
Yeah, it does. So it's back up in the Mayacamas benchlands there. So it's a really special little smaller microclimate where you get extra fog, extra cool, extra shade in the afternoon. So it's even for the AVA of Yountville, you have a little bit of a cooler microclimate here, which helps us preserve restraint in the fruit. But I think the true gem of this vineyard is 2 blocks of Cab that were planted in 1959. And it is the oldest commercially available Cabernet in Napa Valley. And it is the blocks of wine, those 2 vines, those 2 spaces of vines are what drove Mike and his nephew Evo, who came over to work for Mike in the late 80s, 86, to move through the organic, biodynamic, and regenerative farming process, because back in Croatia, vines would live for a long time, 100 years, no problem. Why in Napa Valley are we replanting after 25?
Right.
We're doing something wrong. Nature's not doing, the vines aren't different here. We're doing something wrong.
Well,
So
That's an interesting take.
not for the fact that it's not producing great grapes, but the production yield is much lower, and the price of the land dictates that we need to produce more.
So actually, I think that's a pretty loaded question to unpack. And let's unpack it.
Autolysis.
Yeah, autolysis.
Okay.
When your vine isn't healthy, yields are reduced. It is not necessarily a causation. Vine age does not necessarily cause yield decline. In fact, in these lots of Cabernet from 59,
Okay, you're under recording right now. You
we
understand
have, is this okay?
You're under oath.
We have taken yields from about a ton of fruit per acre up to 2.5 to 3 tons of fruit per acre, regenerated the vine.
Yeah.
Yes, as a vine ages, if it's not healthy, it's going to pull back its production. It's trying to save its life. It's also dying. It's not necessarily the vine age that's causing that to happen. It's probably a lack of nutrients in the soil. And so that is what.
Maybe we need to drink this wine for longevity.
Yes, in fact, you should. Mike went to 100.5.
He did.
Croatia, there's blue.
He almost made 101.
These wines are incredibly healthy. This is Eva's whole conversation is why are we putting chemicals in the ground? Why are we putting chemicals in our wine? Why are we putting things in our wine when we don't have to?
I think.
And what's the winemaker's name again?
Evo.
Evo. Is nephew?
Aromatic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do believe there are a lot of producers in Napa that are following the same.
They are, yeah, for sure.
Where it's saying no chemicals.
The land.
It's almost everybody a lot of the families, a lot of the people that we really interact with.
They talk about sustainability. They talk about
the land.
better stewards of the land.
You have to. I mean, they're seeing.
And I believe that puts a better product in the glass.
100%. Well, can I give one more geeky
Please.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We love to geek out.
tilling.
Shouldn't till.
You shouldn't till.
We learned that.
Right?
When we learned about autolysis.
Right?
did.
Because the heat in the vineyard, when you till and you have a heat spike, 115 degrees, your vineyard soil can be 180 or more. That causes immediate dehydration. You're spiking your sugar levels, you're throwing out the acidity, your grapes are wilting on the vine. That is not going to lead to great wine unless you're fixing it somehow. When you till,
There's no way to fix it.
And that can be a whole other story as well.
you're
Fixing
you're
wine, because
fixing
that's
wine,
happening.
right? That's happening.
That's happening.
When
do you
you
mean by
don't
that?
till,
Fixing wine.
There's ways to manipulate a wine that's off or not where it needs to be.
You can
and I'm not just talking about blending.
centrifuge.
Correct.
You can
Yeah.
put in acid, pump the acid up to try to give it back some balance. You
Yeah,
could
if
maybe water it
If
down.
alcohol is too high, you can there's ways to adjust.
Well,
If it's a rainy year, you can add extra sugar. That's called chaptalization. So you're
And it's illegal,
yes,
but
Well, it's
you're
all
boosting.
legal. And it's the one food.
is it moral?
It's the one food product. There is nothing on this label to say what's in it. And do you know you can have 53 different ingredients in here, including fish guts.
yeah,
Did you know that?
it's a fining agent.
It's a fining agent, but
Yeah.
still, it's a fining agent.
Yeah, there's trace amounts if they use it, right?
I don't know.
So yeah, you can fix it. But anyway, let's talk about the
So
cat.
anyway, so
Let's
yeah,
talk about
Let's talk about this cat.
Let's not talk about fish guts or fish-friendly farming. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, correct.
so you're tasting the Yountville here. There's a bright red fruit expression on the mid palate that's coming from Rutherford.
Mhm.
There's a richness to that Rutherford fruit. And then again, it's Merlot. So we're pulling that cool climate Merlot in at about 13%, 14%.
What's
To
in
blend
This is the cab,
This is the
blending?
cab.
but there's
How much Merlot is in there?
13%, I think, on the 21.
Okay. And is
So
that coming
that's-
from American Candy?
It's coming from American Canyon.
Okay.
It's adding some structure. It's adding some of that aromatic element. But you're getting this beauty, the building, the structure, the outline for this is that Yountville space. And I think, obviously, I love history, given our Celianic conversation.
Yeah.
This vineyard plot was part of the original land grant in the 1830s to George Yount. So when the guy who first starts planting vines in Napa comes, he says, "Where's the best?" This was part of that. We're planted it to Inglenook clone.
Okay.
Inglenook was brought over from Bordeaux in the late 1850s by
We
the
know all
Napa
about
Valley.
Inglenook. We've
Right,
sat through
but
that.
what a story.
That's
That's a story. That sad family
that's poor hospitality.
story.
That's a different taste.
What episode was that?
That was actually
No, we did have a
I enjoyed the
lady
wines.
that was a representative of Inglenook, but we went to Inglenook and
Enjoyed the history.
we enjoyed
Really, really,
the
really,
property.
really cool.
And the property was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
with the hospitality.
So you have a clone.
Clone. It's a looser cluster structure. It's a thicker skin grape. So read more aeration between the grapes. You get a thicker skin, more tannin,
You really
smaller
speak
grapes,
this
higher
about
skin to
wine.
juice ratio,
Pretty good.
concentration. Yeah, it's. I mean, I do it for a living.
Well, she's been doing it a long time
I mean,
too, right? For as young as you are,
I started.
right?
peddling the juice.
I mean, I don't know this stuff, and I've been drinking it
17 years.
Well, you are sold too. Flip the script, you know, and then you gotta dig in. I love history. Wine is history.
Well, it sounds like it absolutely is, and it sounds like you like the geekiness of it
It's
a
fun.
little bit too. Yeah, it is, right? And you're drinking wine.
I mean,
And you're drinking good wine.
Bums who make you laugh along the way.
Right.
Like,
by the way,
I love it.
Grgich Hills is a good place to be.
it is. It is. We're family
I would
owned.
like, if you could,
What would you like to revisit?
I want to revisit the cab next to. I want to see if I still get the caramel.
The cab and the Zin.
The Zen.
Then
Yeah,
I'm going to do it side by side.
Here.
that's fun. I love a side by side.
What's the next 5 years for Grgich Hills look like?
So it's been a really integral past couple of years.
Okay.
Where Violet has been really. So Violet Grgich
Violet is
is
Mike's daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it up.
She's taking over control. I think
I was gonna be-
officially she was
if you
given
want something
control
else, I'll do
in
that.
2018,
Okay.
maybe, but I would say Mike was such a presence
Yeah.
and had such vision. And
Was he active?
All the way in.
Wow.
to the end, signing bottles as
Being
a
in the
cheese.
in the
Live to 100 years old.
Because we have,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
Did you meet
someone's going to have to remind me of this, but we had one of our guests who was telling me that they were in the fields with Mike picking grapes at one of the last harvests.
Yeah.
And just, they were,
Wow.
yeah, so they're part of the wine club, Grgich Hills Wine Club, and
I mean, it was truly, truly, truly his passion.
Yeah.
And I, you know, Violet has come into this. And so her background, actually, she's a classically trained musician.
Okay.
She eschewed the wine business for many years. And Mike sort of said, okay, sure, but let's be real.
Right.
It's the sense that I've been getting.
Right.
And so Violet, you know, now she's coming into her own. And I think the farming has become really paramount to us in conjunction with her cousin Evo, who is really spearheading this farming movement. So for us, it's about maintaining family ownership, maintaining estate, and spreading the regenerative process to the rest of Napa. So what I hope to see market-wide, consumer-driven, is really a better sense of people understanding the way that our farming impacts the quality of the wines, and getting a better sense of how family ownership and this gem that is a family business in Napa Valley, that it's such a rarity, and how that impacts quality, because you don't have decisions being made on a corporate level. There is no shareholder meeting quarterly that needs to see a return, right?
Right.
So when we make decisions about our wines or our vineyards, we're making them because we want to continue to produce the utmost quality. It's a family reputation.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really important business model to preserve in Napa, because it maintains a level of quality that people who are, we gotta shave a little off this year. Maybe we don't use so much Nuo. Oh, we can't use that Cooper. Well, let's just put a little acid in there. Oh, we gotta make this much wine, so we don't love this fruit, but we gotta use it. Like, that doesn't have to happen when you have a family business and you own your own vineyard.
they're all, every one of these wines drinking fantastic.
Yeah.
I revisited.
I get the caramel actually now that I've had the other wines.
Yeah, it's
I totally, like, right off the rip. as soon as
caramel,
you
a
said
little
that.
vanilla. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The nose on this. Each one of these wines was, I would say, damn near perfect in its own right.
Yeah. They speak to place, and they speak to the varietal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
You know,
can't
I
wait
walked
for
through
us to do a Grgich Hills wine tonight. This would be the perfect lineup.
It's a great lineup.
In
As is.
library vintage.
We have library vintages. We have them active in the market. We also have, you know, some, we might be able to get you guys a taste. We released commemorating Mike, our 21 vintage of
wow.
Paradise Block. We're calling it Cabernet, which is hand-selected vines from the 1959 planting, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It's its own whole separate project. It's its own whole separate label. We just released it in October, so it is the apex of our Cabernet
Where is that?
production.
Is it in the market?
It is dabbled. We have a little in Florida. It's mostly for our wine club. It's a
Okay.
3-pack. It is Violet's, I would say, beautiful intention. It is
Okay.
it is an absolutely beautiful package. And Evo picks each vine
Yeah.
within this old lot. So it's not just, oh, all the old lots. It's this is the best, the best, the best, the best, the
Okay.
best. So
Wow.
we've got that kind of stuff. We've got a Chardonnay, which is a replication of the way that Mike made the Chardonnay for Judgment of Paris,
Okay.
called the Paris Tasting or Paris
I would
76.
love
So
to get a hold of that because I can tell you that I do believe the Château Montelena Chardonnay, while it's good, isn't that one of your wines that you were?
It's one of mine as well.
It is. I don't know if that wine would win today. I don't know. That's
Well,
hey,
yeah.
we're doing a lot of judgments.
It's all personal, right? It's all.
it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but I like where you're going with it.
I would. How cool would it be to
It would be
compare the two of the wines, Mike's wine and the current
Correct.
Château Montelena?
Right.
Let's plan on that.
Let's make it happen.
I think it's a fun event.
Renee,
It would be.
you got Violet on speed dial. You guys text each other. You guys friends? Yeah.
On vacation, that's why I would. Violet, what's up?
We just FaceTime her, right?
I that would be really appropriate.
Next time. Next time.
Next time.
I wish we didn't have to go back to work
Why?
because I
What we
would
do?
drink the rest of this.
I know. They're alluring.
I revisited generously.
Apparently, you
Yeah.
have.
I
Which did you go for, Merlot?
I went Merlot because it was.
You are.
It was tasty.
I'm telling you, it's a sneak
Yeah, but it's really good. I love it.
beauty. It's a
Yeah,
beauty. It's a
I love
beauty. I really love that Merlot. And as I get more and more familiar with the wines and the vintages roll by, and you see, I think that each wine is a time capsule.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is really important. And that is part of the art.
Sure.
Agreed. Well, I can tell you, getting to know you for 15 plus minutes, Grgich Hills should be very proud of their relationship with you, and I feel like you're a great steward for their brand.
They're the finest.
And we have.
I wish you the
we
very,
have
very
to make
best of
room
luck.
because
We'd have
this
to.
fits exactly with what our values are and what we believe in wine and what wine we should be serving and serving and introducing to our guests.
And the history doesn't get much richer
No.
Right.
than this.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you want to tell a story about wine,
there's a book.
you can't tell it without Grgich Hills.
No,
Right.
you really can't.
Yeah. So,
It's really cool. Cheers.
cheers,
Shall
my
we say
friend.
this? Taste toast together.
Taste toast together.